Today we're moving from the embroidery hoop to the sewing machine, so come join me.
Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you'll never...
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, gifted crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there on this glorious day. It is another wonderful day here in South Florida. My name is Nancy with Gifts HQ, and this channel is just all about crafting, and we just have a fun time doing all kinds of things together, like demos and little projects and things like that. We just love talking about crafting, and we cover all kinds of things like sewing, embroidery, quilting, and just so much more. We just have a good time doing it. So if that's something that you're into, you're in the right place. No need to go anywhere. Just go ahead and turn on the lights. Everyone will follow you in. So come on into my journey here today, and let's have some fun together. Let's see, who do we have walking in here today? I see Bettina. Good morning to you. Sherry, good morning. Oh, she's chatting from New York. Nice. Barb, good morning from Central Illinois. We've got Tiny Tiffany, and oh, she's saying good morning to just absolutely everyone here. Sue Galvin, good morning to you. We've got Faker McFake here. We've got Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. We've got our friends from Canada here. They're all ready to go. Let's see, we've got Julie from Oregon. We've got Robin's Quilt Basket. Good morning to you. We've got Boricua Sewing and Crafts. That's my sister, guys. We've got Jackie Hallman here with us today. Good morning. We've got Shay Shay from Texas. We've got JBL from Alabama, Terry from Ohio. Let's see here. Wow, lots of chatting going on today. We've got Keisha from Tennessee. Good morning to you. Let's see. Cindy Ball, good morning. Marilyn, good morning to you. Let's see. Oh, we got Marilyn already. March, good morning from Wisconsin. We've got Flo from North Carolina. Good morning, Melinda. Good morning to Melissa from East Texas. Good morning. Let's see, Deborah Bile, good morning to you, and all those that are walking in, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a fantastic morning, guys. So, guys, we are ready to start flipping over to different machines. You can see I've got 1, 2, and another machine behind me, so I am full of machines today. Definitely full of machines, but they all have their own little purpose, right? We've got Miss Molly over here, who's our straight stitch machine. She does a fantastic job with all of my piecing, but we had to bring out our Brother HC1850 today because we're going to do a little zig and a little zag today, just putting our ropes together. And then, of course, we've got our Brother SE1900, and that is our embroidery machine. It's also a combo machine, but we're using it for embroidery, and we're going to finish up our project today, and we're going to add some rope to it, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing that together. So I have done my first one, and there's a few tips that I'll share with you guys. Little tricks here and there that you can do, but it's definitely all kinds of tips that I'll like to share for all the different parts of the project. So if you're doing this with me, you're going to have a great time with me. Okay, first things first, we got to get our toast in, right? So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of whatever it is you have in the morning. You know how the drill goes. Coffee, tea, soda, water. We've got everything under the sun. And I'm going to go ahead and raise my glass over to you guys because I hope you guys are having a fantastic day and you have a great time doing all your crafting today. So cheers, everyone. Guys, don't forget, if you don't have a cup, I will pour you one. So go ahead and raise those glasses nice and high, and cheers, everyone, to a fantastic day. Oh, that feels great. Wonderful. Great way to start the day and perk you right up, right? Good morning, Doris. All right, thanks for joining. So, guys, I think we need to kind of head on over and get some snacks, but I think we're going to go to someplace a little bit different. I think we wanted to take a little walk over to the farmer's market. So let's do that because they've got a ton of different things. Here we are. We're bringing our dog Patches along. Yeah, you know, he likes to play with his little balloons. So let's go ahead and go over to the farmer's market because we've got some fresh bread and really beautiful fruits and veggies that are out there. And we've got all that other stuff too, so no worries. We've got the cookies, we've got cinnamon rolls coming out. We also have a drone. So if you guys don't want to get out of the bed, just put your orders in. No worries. We will get you there too, okay? We've got everything there for you. Okay, hope you enjoy that nice fresh bread coming out of the oven. So, guys, I think now, if you're in your cozy spot or in a safe place to watch, I think we're ready to start.
Oh, wait!
Oh, wait, why are we waiting?
I want to thank Sue Galvin.
Oh, yes. Yes,
for my girdle.
We have to thank Sue Galvin. We received a little package. And Sue, thank you so much. That was really sweet of you. Mr. H loved it. She sent over a little gift to Mr. H. And yeah.
Should I show it?
He wants to show it. It's not really that. Go ahead. He loves his shenanigans. Go ahead and do it. Yes, Mr. H did. He says he got his girdle, but it's not a girdle, guys. It's really not a girdle. It is actually a very nice shirt. And, you know, he just likes to have his shenanigans all the time. So, you know, you gotta let him have it, right? Mr. H is here. If you guys are tuning in for the first time, he's my little sidekick here. And he handles all of my graphics and helps me to get this channel to life so we can bring a little bit of a giggle in your day and, you know, kind of helps me coordinate with all the cameras and everything. So lots of work on his end. So yeah, lots of fun. He thought that you guys would just, you know, love that. So yeah, he created that one for you guys a little bit. All right. Yeah, fits so well. Okay, guys, I will let you guys go to it and go at it and all your shenanigans on the chat. So have fun following that. It's quite a historical little blast there. So we're going to get over to the project while you guys go with your shenanigans, and we're going to talk about our little project here. So one thing I wanted to mention, yesterday we talked about how to preview fabrics in Embrilliance. So we've got this little document we put together here. Let me put it on the desk cam here so you guys can see it. Yeah, I think that will work. So it's just the steps that we kind of talked about on how to bring your fabric into Embrilliance so you can kind of test out and audition different looks of your fabrics with the design that you are doing. And these are just the steps that we talked about. Of course, you know, capturing the image, opening the design, selecting the applique object and whatnot. And so it's got a little infographic just to help you guys to kind of remember the steps. It's something you can download and bring into your craft room. We've created this for members because remember, guys, you know, the members deserve something a little bit special every time. So if you're not a member, you're thinking about joining, please go ahead and hit the join button because I like to do special things like this, extra things for the members so that they have all kinds of documentation and things to help them out, because sometimes you just don't remember all the steps and you're not going to remember when the video was or what it was called or whatnot. So this kind of helps you out. These little infographics are great to have. You can do a little notebook or have little things, reminders, so that you remember how to do certain steps. And we are creating more and more of these. Eventually, we'll have it in a place where you can just go to and get all of this information in one spot. We're kind of organizing all that for you guys. So that's what it is right now. And it's got the little QR code here on the little sheet, and the QR code will take you straight to the video, right to the part of the video where all these steps are being talked about. So hope that helps you out, guys. So I just wanted to share with that with you guys. We forgot to mention it yesterday. We just had so much to do, and we just lost track of time, and then it was time to go. So yeah, so later today, we're also going to be offering some free memberships for you guys. So if you stay on that chat a little bit, you know, be a little active, and we'll set the little program, and it's going to pick somebody randomly from the chat, and we're going to gift free memberships. So if you guys stay tuned, you should be able to, you may have an opportunity to get that for free. So, okay. So next thing I wanted to let you know is I went ahead and here it is. Ta-da! We unveiled her. So this was the very first one that I did with the little bunny. As you can see, that's the one that we've been looking at this week. This was my test one, right? So I went ahead and I wanted to also test the rope. And so you see, I added the rope to it. And then I also added a little bit of fabric to the rope and made this a beautiful little placemat. I think I was going to make it into a rope bowl. I could have easily done that by kind of tilting it and making it a bowl, but I decided to just keep it flat and have it kind of like a little decor, little placemat. So I did end it with just a little bit of a curve here and just kind of sewed that in, but I think it looks great. Little things here and there, as like I said, this was kind of my test one, so I was playing around with different stitches, changing the size and whatnot to kind of get the right size that I was going to want to do for my next one. So let me bring it over to the desk cam so you can see it here. So you have the rope here, and the rope that I'm using I bought from my Amazon site. So if you guys want the links to everything that I'm using is down below. You can go ahead and click on the links, it'll take you there. So I just used the simple rope here, and then I have the fabric where I just kind of wrapped it around the fabric, and that can be very, very tricky. I think we'll hold that piece off so we can talk about this piece tomorrow, because there's several ways that you can do it and they can be all a little bit tricky. But I think I kind of got the right things to do before you actually sew to make it a little bit easier on you when you're adding that fabric. So that's something that we'll look at tomorrow, but today we're just going to get our little rope in. We're going to finish up our embroidery design and add on the rope. So I thought that would be really neat. And of course, you've got the back, and the back is here with your little sleeve in there, and then I've got all the rope on the back end here. So looks great. Yeah, nice little placemat. Of course, you can make it into a bowl as well. You would love to see it as a bowl. Oh, that's so simple to do. Yeah, all you have to do is tilt it, and you know, it will curve up, and then you know, it'll look like a bowl. But yeah, definitely. Maybe we'll play around with some extras if we have some time and do some bowls. But these are so simple to do. So let's go ahead and get started, because I really want to get going on this. So we have our embroidery machine all set up. Where we kind of left off was, I said I was going to do all of the steps up until the step where you have to put your back enclosure in. So we've got the black embroidery thread that we did. Can we see the embroidery, Cam? There we go. He is chatting away in there. Shenanigans, guys.
Hey, Jackie made me do it.
Jackie, sure. Okay, so we have here the embroidery, and we've got this black embroidery that it's just finished doing. And so we've got the blanket stitch, and the black thread is really where the embroidery kind of comes to life. It really does that nice outline all the way around, and so you can really see all of the details that come through when you are looking at this. So let me just adjust this just a bit. There we go. That's a little better, I guess. Okay, so now the next step is just the very last step, which is just a simple circle, and that is really a tack down stitch to kind of bring in your bottom pieces, which will be the enclosure that you do in the back. Okay, so we need to put those pieces in so that this side here, when you turn it over, you have a really beautiful fabric to look at, and you have this nice fold here, and you can see there's no raw edges showing here, so it's a nice fold that you'll have to put here. So let's see, in order to do that, I'm going to need 2 scrap pieces of fabric, and yes, they're not going to need to be big at all, and we're going to have to make sure they're nice and pressed, and we want to make sure that we have, and let me just plug this in here, we have to make sure that we have a very nice crease on the ends, because you want this fold right here to look nice and crisp. All right, so you need to make a nice crisp fold onto your fabric so that it will look nice in the back. So let me bring in my small little ironing board here. We're just going to do this quickly, and just going to give it a little fold here. Doesn't have to be anything major here. So nice little fold right here, and let's see. Oh, iron's getting there. We'll do a little bit of a press there. And then I'll just flip it over, just make sure that it's nice and pressed on the other side. So no wrinkles. You don't want any wrinkles on this end. Now, yes, I do have the selvage here, but I'm not worried about that. No one's going to see it. That's going to be cut off. So I'm just leaving it, and we'll be cutting that off. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold this side. Okay, and I will flip this over. Make sure this is nice and pressed. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's all we need to do. So just that quick little press, and I'm going to put this over to the side here. There we go. All right, so let's head on over to the embroidery machine, and we're going to lay this down and stitch our very last stitch here. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay my pieces, and I'm kind of aligning with my hoop. Now every hoop has a little notch that shows that that's the middle, so that's where I am going to place this. And then I'm going to place this, actually going to move it just a tad over because I want them to overlap just slightly. And then I'm going to bring the other side, and lay that on top. And you can bring it in a little bit more if you want. And let me just play around with it a little bit. I think that will do. And make sure your top half is the same. And that's all you need to do. Just lay it right sides together on the embroidery hoop, making sure that you are covering all of your stitches, okay? So make sure you have enough fabric going all the way around and you're overlapping here in the middle. Okay, and you can overlap as much or as little as you want. Doesn't need to be too much, just make sure you have that overlap. And then once you have that, I'm gonna lower my presser foot and I'm gonna have it do the final stitch, but I'm gonna use my chopstick to make sure, because this is where you need to really watch your machine. You've got this right here that opens up. So what you can do is grab some, you can use painter's tape, you can use the medical tape, you can use any kind of tape to kind of hold it down and make sure that that does not get caught up underneath your foot. So I am going to just take a little piece. Now I'm not going to do it where it's going to be stitching. I'm just going to do it in the middle here to reinforce it. And I can put a tiny little piece on the edge just to make sure it doesn't move. And this, when I was doing it on the first time, it did get hung up, but I was watching the machine, so I was able to stop it right away and get it underneath. But it's pretty tricky because that fabric is open there, so you don't want that to get caught up. So this is not the step to walk away from your machine. This is a very quick stitch. It is about a minute on my machine, probably even less if you go faster. So you want to make sure you watch that. And so I'm going to tape that down as I've done here. And then I'm going to use my chopstick to just make sure that this stays down as it goes this way. Okay, and then when it comes back around on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So let's go ahead and get it started. And then just be cognizant that you may have to hit that stop button once you start seeing if it gets hung up. So be very, very careful with that. And this is where it's coming around. And it made it. Great job. Okay. So it didn't get hung up on here, which is what we were worried about. So now we'll just wait for it to come back around to the other side and just make sure it doesn't get hung up in that area as well. So just let it stitch. You can see it's kind of doing a backward, forward motion. Does it? Okay, hold on. There we go. I guess that's a little better. Okay, there we are. See how it went underneath that foot? I pressed it down with my chopstick and that kind of helped it out. And it went right underneath it. That good? Okay. This one, like I said, it's a quick stitch. It's just going back and forth. So it's a nice reinforcement stitch and it's going through all of those layers and it's going to hold everything together. Okay. Almost done here. There it is. And we are done. Okay. Oof, see how it got underneath there? Look at that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and raise our presser foot. We're going to hit OK. It finished embroidering. And I'm going to remove this from the hoop. And let's go back to our table because we are ready to kind of pull this out here. Okay. Alrighty. So let me grab the scissors over there. Okay, so that is what we use our tape for. And it's really nice to kind of make sure that that doesn't get hung up because it can just ruin the project if it gets hung up in there. It'll pull it out of the hoop. It could misalign everything and you'll have a hell of a time after that. So make sure, guys, that you're watching this step. It's just the final step. It's only about a minute. And it's so worth it to watch it, okay? So let's take this off the hoop now. Okay. And pull this to the side. So now we've got all this excess here. We've got our little piece here in the middle. Connie says, but a piece of paper tape over the seam path, would that keep it down? It would, but then you're gonna have your tape caught up in the seam.
But you have to go all the way,
And
just a little section.
yeah, you can do just a tiny bit, but the problem is then you're caught up with that tape there. It's gonna be on the inside, so no one's gonna see it, but it does cause a little bit of bulk right here. So you can do that to help you out. I just did it relatively close, right? And then I put my chopstick right before it to make sure that the foot doesn't get caught up. But yeah, you can do the tape here, but just know that then the tape is going to go into the seam. And if you're using tape, it may gum up your needle just a little bit. I mean, it's just a small little space, so it shouldn't be too bad. But, you know, it does cause a little bit of bulk, and it might be a little bit of a pain to kind of pull off. And you don't want to pull off, because then when you're pulling the tape off, you're pulling on the stitches as well. So, you know, it's not bad if you just kind of do right around it and then just use your little chopstick to make sure it doesn't get in. Do not use your fingers, please, guys. Chopsticks, they work totally fine, anything like that. It's just a quick little second, just allowing it to go over the little edges here, right? And then on the same on the other side. Okay, so now we have our nice opening here. Okay, and so now what I want you to do is grab your scissors, and we are going to cut right along the circle here, getting rid of all of this bulk. And what we're going to do is we're going to snip a couple of slits all the way around, and then we're going to turn this inside out. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get a little piece here and get myself going. I can get as close to the stitch line as you can get without cutting your stitches, right? So try to get as close as you can. You can do about 1/4 inch if you want. I'm going to try to do even a little closer than that if I can. But just be very careful not to cut into your stitches. And you've got that little bit of a bulk going on in the middle there. Here we go. And all you're doing here is eliminating all of that bulk that's going to be in your way when you turn this inside out. Okay. Yeah, so don't accidentally snip your base fabric, okay? We've all done that, so let's not try to do that today, okay? Don't cut your stitches and don't cut your base fabric. Once you get past that line, there's no going back. So you want to be careful with that. Okay, here we are. So we've got all of this extra pieces of fabric, and we've got this pretty big piece of stabilizer that you could kind of cut up and reuse. So we'll have to see how we do that. And I'm going to just set this over to the side here. And so we have our circle, and then we can kind of cut a little bit more if you wanted to. So just kind of go back and trim away, you know, getting that haircut. We're trimming away here. And if you decided to leave about 1/4 inch, what you can do is then you can take your other scissors that do those really nice close cuts and just do little snips. And the little snips will help when you're turning it around. So that kind of helps out just a little bit. I did it close enough that I don't even think I need some little slips, but I'll put a couple here and there. And the little tiny snips, let's see if you can see these. These are just tiny, tiny little slits that I'm doing right there, okay? Very, very tiny. Barely even see that little tiny slit, okay? And you're just gonna go around and you're just gonna cut them right up to that seam line. Do not cut that seam, okay? Just do little slits. It's just to help you when you turn it inside out, and it'll eliminate some of the bulk, okay? So we've got little slits here and there. Okay, I think that's good enough. think we're ready to turn her inside out. So set these over to the side and put my iron back on because I'm going to want to give this a little bit of a press. So now I'm going to reach into our little slots here that we have, and we're just going to turn her over. And so just kind of move her along here. Got to get the other side as well. There we go. She's starting to peek through. And just push, push, push with your fingers.
Where's your purple thing?
Yes, you can use that purple thing. See, Mr. H is learning all the terminology. Next thing you know, I'm going to get you on a machine.
Like I have a choice. Oh, help me, God.
I just got to get you on a machine. Then we can have challenges. Yay. All right. So get the chopstick, get that purple thing, get whatever it is that you need to go ahead and run it against the edges here to kind of smooth them out. And then just do the same thing on the other side here. You've got your little opening that'll help you do that. Just go ahead and smooth it all the way through. And then once you have that, put it on a flat surface and just kind of snuggle it down there. And then just flip it over, and you can do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to come over to our iron here. And I'm going to do this ironing it face down, and then I'm going to flip it over, but I'm going to put something to protect the stitches. So on the back side, I'm all good. I'm going to go ahead and just give that a press. Just press it down just a little bit, give it a little bit of some muscle here, and then turn it and try to get all the sides to lay nice and flat. There you go. She's looking great back here. I have a little piece of scrap fabric here. So I'm just going to flip her over, and I'm going to put a little bit of fabric to protect her right there. This may be a little too much. It's got certain layers. Here's one. Okay, that'll work. And then I will just press right on top. I don't want to press directly on the stitches. I like to leave a little bit of that protection on here. And you're pressing down with your iron a bit. Okay, I think that looks good. And there she is, guys. I think she's so adorable. Let's take a look at her. And you can see what a difference she makes. If I put her side by side here, you can see the difference that the fabric makes in between, right? One, you know, looks totally pink because we use that really dark fabric as the background. And then you can see on the blue one here, that white fabric really lifts up the embroidery, and you can really see the details on that. So I thought that looks really great, and I love how that looks. Absolutely fantastic here. So now we're ready to kind of turn this into a nice placemat or a rope bowl, whatever it is you want to do. So let's head on over, and you can just kind of play around with this a little bit. You know, if it didn't come out too centered, just play around with the edges here. You'll have to kind of move this around with your fingers, and then just go ahead and use the iron to kind of get it into place and get it exactly where you want it. So just go ahead and play with that until you can kind of snag it to be right there in the center. Whoop, there we go. And so you'll have this nice center piece. Again, this was done with a 5x7 hoop, and you can do all kinds of different sizes. So yeah, what a difference with the fabric colors, right? Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to show you that not just in Embrilliance, but in actual, you know, physical item that you can see what a difference this makes, right? One looks completely pink, and the fabric is kind of almost swallowing the embroidery design. If it weren't for the black thread, you could probably barely see any of the colors at all. And yet here with the white fabric behind it, you can really see the crackles of the egg. You can see the colors really pop out, and you can really see the design more than the other. Yeah, big difference. So that's why I think putting your fabrics in Embrilliance really helps you to see what your design's going to look like before you even stitch this out, because you know, you don't want to get all the way to the end of your project and then see, oh man, it looks really dark and you're not too great, you know, happy about it. I mean, it's not that it looks bad, it's okay, but it could have been better. And I think this one really shows it a lot better than this one here. So big difference, but then, you know, it all depends on the look you're trying to achieve. So it can just work out either way. So that's why I wanted to kind of show you guys the difference between these two and different ways for you to be able to do that without even stitching anything. Okay. All right. So now let's head on over. We're going to focus now on making this adding the rope and making this a placemat. So I'm going to bring over here my little rope here. Hardly little, right? Yeah, I kind of went big on this one because I knew I was going to be using this for all kinds of projects. So I have a very big amount of rope here, and got it at a pretty good deal at the time. So this is the rope that I'm going to be using, but there are ones that are out there that are all kinds of different colors. So if you're doing something like for the Americana 250, right, and you want to do red, white, and blue, you can get red, white, and blue rope and then add that to your design. It all depends on what you are working on, but you can get all different colors. They are available out there. So just check the link and then you can see all kinds of other colors that are available. So once you've decided on which one you're going to use, then you're ready to go. Now this one, there are different sizes here, and let's see. Oh, let's see here. I think this is number 4, did we say? Last night we kind of looked up what the size was of the rope. I believe it was 4. Is that correct?
5.
Or was it 5? Was it 5?
5.
It was 5. Guys, it was 5 millimeters. So yeah, it's...
The one that you have or the one that she mentioned?
No, the one I have here.
5 millimeters.
Mine was 5, right? Okay. Yeah, so there's different sizes that you can get. I'm just using 5, works for me, didn't have any issues, but there's different ones that you can get. So you can just kind of, you know, choose different sizes and play around with them. Yeah, you're curious about the rope? No worries. We're gonna get that curiosity solved, right? So what I'm gonna do is put this over to the side here, and I'm gonna bring over my old machine, my Brother HC1850. This is the very first machine I have, and haven't seen her in a while, but I got her ready to go and got her all set up here. So what you are going to want to do is you're going to want to start this off, and let's see here. I am going to find the edge of my rope. And what I want to do first is you want to grab a nice sharp pair of scissors, and you're going to want to just trim off the top so you have a nice clean edge on the top. Okay, make sure that one's nice and clean. And then you're going to want to cut this on an angle. Okay, so you want to get an angled cut here just to start it off, because if you don't do the angled cut, you'll have a bit of bulk to start off the project. So you want to start it off at an angle so there's less bulk and it kind of eases in to the project. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that at an angle, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So just carefully go through very slowly and cut at that angle. Now, it's kind of hard to see, and we'll show you this in the desktop, but I did cut off right here at an angle. Okay, so this angle right here is the angle that I have. Okay, can you guys see that a little bit more now? Yeah, so it's cut at that angle right here, and it's not much. You just need a little bit there. Okay, the other thing you can do, grab a little bit of that medical tape, something clear, just a tiny bit, nothing major. You're not getting a huge piece. You're just getting a tiny bit of tape, And what I want to do is I want to control some of that fray that goes on the edge. And I'm just going to put a little piece of tape on the end just to control that fray. And let me just put it on here and roll it in. So I have a little bit less of the rope on that tip there. And then what I did was I went ahead and just wrapped it with some tape, okay, just to secure it. And I don't want frays to go all over the place. So that's going to help me start off. Now let's go over to the sewing machine and get ourselves all settled here. And what you want to do is decide where you're going to be placing the rope. So let's see here. You move this down just a tad. There we go. And so here you have to decide if you want to start here on the bottom or on the side, on the top. I'm just going to go ahead and start on the bottom. And so here I'm going to lay this right here. And that's where I'm going to do my first stitch. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over to the machine, lay this nice and flat, okay? And we're going to set up our machine to do a zigzag stitch. On this particular machine, I am using the number 4 stitch, which is a zigzag stitch. And I am also going to adjust the width of my stitch. And one thing that you can do, grab a little scrap, and I'm just going to use this as my scrap. And I'm going to go ahead and lower my presser foot and just do a couple of stitches. And that way you guys can see what the width is going to look like here. So let me just do a couple here. Okay. And then I will go ahead and let me just cut my threads. And you can see here, this stitch length is set to a 6, and it is quite wide, okay? And that's what I want to use. Now, everyone can use a different size, but what I really want to stress to you guys is make sure that you test it before you actually start stitching. And the reason why my zig and zag are pretty wide here is because I want to leave myself enough room to be able to capture both the fabric and the rope. And I want to also give myself a little bit of leeway in case I take my eyes off of it for a second. If I have enough of a zig and a zag, then you can definitely, you know, jog it just a little bit and you'll still be okay, and you'll still capture the rope and the fabric together. If I make this too narrow, you're really going to have to be right on it because you're not going to have much space in between the two. Now, to start it off, I don't want my stitches to come all the way out too much here into the fabric. So you can start off with, let's say, a 5, which would make it a little bit narrower. And I'll show you what that one looks like. Nope, get my thread in control here. There we go. Let's move it over to this side. Nope, bring that down. And my foot, here it is. Got something caught up in my foot. It's not letting me press. There we go. There we are. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Oh, does it? Did it move on me? There we go. Sorry, guys. I think I must have hit the camera a little bit. I think it's the tape is not holding too well on the camera. Hopefully that will stay. Okay. So there we are. Let me lift up my needle. And I'm going to show you, look at the difference now between the two stitches. Okay, so here, much narrower than the first one. Okay, so a little bit less zig and zag going on here than here. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do the zigzag stitch, but pick the width that you are most comfortable with. Okay, so be very careful with that. Now to start off, I'm going to start off a little bit narrow just on that first round because I don't want too much of my thread on the fabric. But then I'm going to switch over and I'm going to be a little bit more generous in terms of the zig and zag so that it makes it a little bit easier to make sure that I capture both the fabric and the rope. So now that we've tested that out and we've decided on what stitches we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and grab my little coaster here. And I'm going to kind of bring this right underneath on the bottom side where I want it to begin. And I'm just going to kind of bring her over here, bump her up really close together. And I'm going to lower my presser foot. And I am going to line up the center of my needle. Well, so here's the center here. I'm going to try to make sure that I have my fabric and my rope where they're joining together. So we're marrying the two together, and I want to keep them right there so that when it comes here in the middle, that little join is going to be smack in the middle, and I'm going to have, whoops, don't think you guys can see that here. Okay. Hold on here. That's a little better. So once again, here is that middle, right where my needle is. And I'm going to try to marry these two together. And I'm going to keep this middle right here in between where my zig and zag are joining. Okay. So we've got the fabric and the rope being married together here, and that stitch is going to stay right in the center, and the zigzag stitch is going to grab a piece of fabric and grab a piece of rope and just marry the two together. So let's get that going. And let me see if I can adjust this camera one more time because it seems to not want to stay today. So let me just grab another piece of tape and see if I can get that to stay. There we go. Just grab that little piece there. All right, we're going to try this again. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Have to kind of adjust here. The benefits of these cameras. There we go. No, it doesn't want to stay on me. Wait, it's having a hard time today. Okay, let's try that angle and see if that works. Hopefully that's a little better. So there we are. I'll try to not to bump it too much. So make sure you give yourself a little bit of slack. Take out a couple of little pieces of that rope and have it kind of just hanging on the side of your table. You don't want to have anything obstructing it that's going to prevent you from doing this. And so once you have it right in place, we're going to go ahead and we'll get started. So take it nice and slow at first and just make sure you're bumped up against there. And once you feel a little bit more comfortable, you can start going a little faster. Yeah, I guess a little piece of duct tape might work. Let's see. And you can see as you're going, you just have to go nice and slow on that very first round. Make sure that it's going where you need it to be. We've got, oh, that's way too big. Yeah, I can't do that big of a piece. It has to be smaller. So let's cut this. We've got a piece of duct tape here, guys. See, if duct tape can't do it, nothing else can, right? So we'll try to put that in place and see if it stays. Okay. All right, how about now? What's she look like? Can we do that? So Cam? Oh. There we go. That works. Okay. So we'll stick to that one. Now, I do have my little magnetic seam guide. And once you have it running in place, you don't really need this, but this is kind of just an added insured, something to just kind of reinsure that I don't go out of place here. So it just kind of just helps me. Doesn't really touch anything here, but I like to kind of have it to the side just in case. And you can see here, all you need to do is keep this together. Now, you have your other hand right here. This is serving a purpose. We are going to be turning this as it goes, making sure all the time your eyes are in this center here, making sure that you are on center point. So when it comes to the needle, you want to make sure that that join is right in the center. So you're using your hands to kind of move it around and keep it going. Let the feet dogs do the work, and then just feed it through. And you're just going to continually watch that it's right in that center. I'm also using my hand on this side to kind of make sure that my rope is getting butted up against the fabric. So just continue to go round and round. And before you know it, you'll be coming around to one full circle here. And just keep going, round and round she goes. Now, in terms of how many rows you need to do, that's totally up to you in terms of how big you want this to be, right? So you can do several rows. I think I did about maybe 10 to 12 rows on the other one, which made it nice and big. But you can definitely make it smaller. You can just make them coasters, or you can kind of sew it at an angle if you wanted to make it into the bowl. Okay, so especially in this first round, you want to try to keep it right on that center as best as you can. And again, here you start to see we're now coming on the other side. And so this is where that little bit of an angled cut will make a difference, because you have all this cushion now. So now it's going to ease right in to the next row. And so you just have to watch here, make sure you're nice and close. Use your little finger there or a chopstick, whatever you feel comfortable with, and go nice and slow in this step. And then you're going to kind of transition into the other row. And there you go. Now we're on that second row. So now, because we're on that second row, I want to go ahead and I want to adjust my stitch length. So I'm going to change it. I did the first row at 5, so I'm going to change my width to a 6. Makes the zig and zag a little bit larger, but it, now I don't have to stare at this so intensely, because after doing so many rounds about this, your eyes are just kind of going to go a little bit. So I want to give myself a little bit more leeway, and that's going to allow me to kind of pull this all together. But you can see how your stitches are coming out here, and I think they're looking fantastic. Can you guys see that a little bit? Yeah, there we go. And so I'll just continue to do this all the way around. Now, the type of thread that you're using can also create different things with this project. I'm just using a standard white thread, but if you have some threads, maybe you want to pop in a little bit of color, you can use your thread with maybe a little bit of a blue. If you have a nice blue thread, since this fabric is blue, you can throw a little accent and have blue zigzags throughout the whole thing. So you can do that also, or you can use invisible thread if you don't want your stitches to show at all. I think it just turned out fine when I used the white thread. Since this is white rope, it kind of blends in fine. So there's really no need for me to have to use the invisible thread. So I'm going to just go ahead and leave this one, and I think it turned out just great. And this one will too. So, after a while, you tend to kind of like forget, well, where's my center? So always kind of pause a little bit and check, am I still at the center? And what's great about having this wider stitch is maybe if you drift it off a little bit, the zig and the zag are still catching both sides, so you'll still be okay. So use your tools as an advantage so that you can kind of relax and just enjoy the process and not have to be so stringent into looking to make sure that you're in the center. So as on the others, my other hand on the side here, you can see I'm just kind of walking through, and you see kind of this finger tapping going on. I'm not really tapping my fingers. What I'm doing is just adjusting, and I'm using my thumb to kind of turn the fabric and make sure that it's doing that circular motion. So you want to make sure that you do that. And so now you just kind of continue all the way around, and you kind of just keep going round and round until you get to the size that you are looking to achieve. And so just go ahead and do that. And then just once you get to that size, you can go ahead and stop. And then you'll have to make the decision of if you want to include some fabric in the back of your little rope here. Connie's asking, the idea of colored zigzag is wonderful. Yes, especially for the holidays. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, so we only have a few minutes, and we do want to gift 5 memberships today. So why don't we go ahead and do that?
Yes, let's do that today.
So let's go ahead. Are we doing 5 today?
Yep.
We're doing 5. Okay, so here we go, guys. And for a free membership, let's go ahead and roll that out. And the system's just going to randomly pick some people here. We've got 5 people. Let's see who it picked. Let's see. Valses? I'm not sure. Sharon. Or is that Charlene? Sorry, the names got really small here. ORM Crafting Designs. Congratulations. Let's see. Wow, I can't read these names. Okay. Congratulations, Sherry and Karen. Let's read those names one more time because they were really hard for me. Oh, the chat is going. Okay. Well, if you can scroll down just a bit here. So we've got Karen. The names. Can you scroll back down again? There we go. Charlene, VAIZ View. We've got, can't see the next one, ORM Crafting Designs, and we have Be Crafty. So you guys all got a free membership, so go ahead and accept them, and Sherry as well. There were. So guys, enjoy those. I hope you enjoy all the content that is out there. And tomorrow we will be adding some fabric to the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing some rows here of rope, and then we'll add the fabric, and it's just going to come out so beautiful. So guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed the content. I'm sorry. I know you guys want me to stay, and I really would love to stay, but I do have to get to work. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you here tomorrow. Yes, Mr. H and all his shenanigans will be here tomorrow as well. Oh, yes, Mr. H is going to be posting some pictures for you guys to kind of look at. Just some fun things that he's been putting together. Say that again?
Of the gift that Sue sent me.
Yes, this is going to be of the gift
Miami.
that Sue sent, and he's going to be driving all over Miami with these shirts. So stay tuned for those pictures, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.